Hello everyone, I am Miss Saili Jadhav, Department of Civil Engineering. So here we are learning, our subject is construction management. Okay, so the chapter number 2 is planning and scheduling. Okay, so in this chapter we are learning the identifying broad activities in construction and allotting time. Then element of networks, that is your event, activity, dummy activities, all these are new to you. Then the next one is CPM networks, activity time estimate, event times by forward pass and backward pass calculation, material management. Okay, all these learn in this our planning and scheduling. Now, what is planning? So the aim of construction management are to execute the work in sufficient manner as per drawing, design and specification within the prescribed time limit and with the maximum possible economy in expenditure. Okay, for the efficient execution of work, it is essential that the schemes of working should be first decided. It means deciding what to do, when to do and how to do, and this is known as planning. It involves the determination of the determination and formulation of steps and processes for doing particular work and particular time. Now the necessity and the importance of planning. So what are the necessity and importance of planning? In the civil engineering work executed without planning may be result in consideration delays in completion, higher expenditure and estimated, and lesser benefits than anticipated. All these cause over the capitalization and seriously affected to the planning. So planning should be done for all works. It needs a lot of experience, devotion of much time and through in order to attain best programming. Now the next one topic is controlling. Controlling means checking constantly the progress of work with planned program and identifying the areas of deficiency, if any, so that remedial steps can be taken. Now what are the functions of controlling? Controlling the quality of work, controlling the use of machines, equipment, materials, output of the labor to avoid wastages. Then the controlling the expenditure. Okay, then keeping watch over the progress of the work. All these comes under your controlling. Now the next one topic is planning and different at different stages. So there are different stages of planning is done in different levels. So it different in different fields at different stages as per size and the nature of the project. So the first one is planning at national level, then it comes under state level, then planning at a promoters level, contractors level, then technical planning, job planning. In job planning, that is pre-tender planning, then post-tender planning. Okay, so in pre-tender and post-tender, there is the planning undertaken by the tenderer after receipt of tender notice before submitting the tender. And post-tender means after getting the contract, the contractor has to undertake the further intensive planning. The planning is known as post-tender. Okay. Now the next one is planning methods. So first one is bar charts, that is your Gantt bar chart, and the next one is milestone chart. Okay, so and the second one is analysis of network, that is critical path method and program evaluation and review technique. Okay, so the scheduling. In scheduling, it is a graphical device which shows the series of jobs and to be performed with dates of starting and completing each job or operation, as well as sequential relationship among the various jobs. In scheduling, the breakdown of work into series of activities for phases, then sequencing the activities, Third one is planning the activities within time. Okay, then the next one is the method of scheduling. So the bar chart and Gantt charts, that is the milestone charts and network analysis. Okay, now the next one topic is planning by owner side and the contractor side. So planning by owner side, he used to carry the extensive investigation which include both technical and non-technical investigation. He has to carry out the market survey for the resources of identification, then to prepare the project report. Now the planning of contractor side. So construction planning includes the preparation of construction schedule, manpower schedule, material delivery schedule, so the control of site operations such as temporary, permanent, then supervision of quality control. This comes under the planning of contractor site. Then the next one topic is study of drawing and design. So the any construction we have to construct, first important one is the drawings, detailed design, working drawings, specification, bill of quantities. This comes under the design and drawings. Now the next one is resources for execution of work. So in resource, what resources are required for executing that work? First one is materials, and the second one is manpower, and the third one is machinery, then funds, then the next one is space. Okay, so here we learn our next topic, that is Gantt bar chart. So this is the graphical representation of various activities of the work. In this chart, time in days or week is marked along the horizontal axis and the activities are prepared along the vertical axis. Okay, so the progress of work to be shown. So this chart is popular with the construction firms of small sizes. During the course of execution, work executed marked by hatching the portion of the horizontal bars for representative that activities. So what are the advantages of this Gantt bar chart? That is, it is a simple to prepare and interpret. Each activity is shown separately, then the modification can be done easily without disturbing other bars and uses as visual aids. Now the disadvantages are the sequence of the activities is not clear, interdependence of activities is not clear, then the chart cannot be used for quick evaluation of alternatives, and the chart cannot used effective controlling. So the chart does not incorporate and it not give the optimum duration of the project. Okay, so this is your Gantt bar chart advantages and disadvantages. Now here is the example of Gantt bar chart. Okay, here you can give the chart, you have to draw this bar chart, and first one the activities A, B can simultaneously proceed, then the next one you give A is to be completed 24 weeks, but B is to be completed in 20 weeks. Okay, so all these are you have to given you have to just put this all things in your bar chart. Okay, in this graphical method. So activity C starts 4 weeks after the start of B. Okay, I have to read it properly. Then activity D has to be processed activity B and take 6 weeks. So how we put this chart? In horizontal axis we write the periods in weeks, and vertical axis we write the activities. So what you have to say that A has to be start simultaneously, A and B start simultaneously. Okay, so the progress at the end of the 12th week. So that is why you put this A, B in the number of 10th week. Okay, now the second is C is start 4th week, so you can put C start 4th week at the time of 16 week. Then from 4 you can count on 16. Okay, so and A and B is simultaneously processed and panels. So you can put it 24 and 20. Okay. Then D has to process activity B and takes 6 weeks. So he has to be processed and take 6 weeks. That is why it put into last. Okay. After B, na, that is why it processed from 20 to 26. Okay. So this is your Gantt bar chart. Now the next one is terms used in networks. So in this chapter we are learning the networks. So the first one is network is a graphic representation of the entire project in terms of its activities through use of arrows and nodes. Okay, then the next one is activity. It is the part of item or operation of the project and it represented by an arrow on the network. The tail of the arrow shows the start of activity and the head shows end of the activity. Okay, now the next one is event. So event is a well defined point or a stage on the network, just like a station or a railway line. So here is the figure, it shows the event. Okay, now the next one is activity duration. So it is the anticipated time required to complete the given activity. Okay, the next one is dummy activities. It is the fictitious activity with a zero duration and no cost. It is used to maintain the sequential order of the activities in the network. The sixth one is restraint. So it is very similar to a dummy activity but has a duration can be either negative or positive. Then the critical activity. It is the line of the critical path. Okay, and it has zero float. And the next one is critical event. So it has the no float and the critical event. Then earliest starting time, that is your EST. Earliest finishing time, that is your EFT. That is the earliest time by which activity has been completed, and the latest means the activity has just started. Here the activity means your work. Okay, then the latest finish time means the latest finish time the activity must be completed so that the project is not delayed. Okay, then the total float, free float, all these comes under this TL. Okay, free float, interfering float. Now these are the common graph diagrams. That is in first AB, that is the operation B can be begun only after A is completed. Then in second diagram, neither operation B or C can be start before operation A is completed. Okay. Then in figure number 3, the operation C can begin after only operation A and B is completed. Then in the figure 4 shows neither operation C or D begun until both A and B are completed. Okay, so this is the diagrams of your activities. So in next lecture we are learning the critical path method, that is the important method in this planning and scheduling, and this is the commonly used in large works. Okay, so this is that learn in our next lecture. Okay, thank you.